So after that, after the night experience, I got the job, and God tested me if I value my job or more than do I value my job more or God more. So He told me to stand in some cinematic place and to stand there for 20 minutes. So while my job was on the line, I was 20 minutes late doing nothing but waiting for God to show me something. I had money and I put Jesus' face on it, Jesus' picture, and put $20 each on each post just to give for somebody which God have a need that I thought. And I stayed there and I just stood there and watched it like a weird guy. I'm black and it's kind of really uncomfortable to stand there while people working and people going, watch a movie, just standing there doing nothing and expecting nothing. It's kind of weird. And I did that, and then God told me to go to supermarket and give it to somebody else. And when I tried to give it to somebody else, the person could not accept it because I think she thought I was a drug dealer or I was asking for more trouble. By giving them money, nobody accepted, so I laid it out at some place. I went out and got convicted to the way I dressed. Jesus said, "Why do you dress like this?" My action was, man, I couldn't come up with any excuse, so I went to work, came back, and on the other times, God told me to cross a river, which I was really scared. I couldn't cross a river, so when I was about to go to work, God told me to go another place, and then I went to another place, and everybody at work is getting mad at me, and I'm coming with excuses. And I walked to some place near my work. I walked to some park. I went in through some forest kind of thing, and God told me to take out my clothes except my boxer, so I can pass some water, some wastewater, I guess. They say it is wastewater, but it kinda is. But the water was so cold, I thought it's going to take me away. The wave was very forceful, but I made it through. I was calling God's name, and if somebody watched me, I'll be crazy, because I'm almost naked, and it is crazy. God will make you go through things, and I walked a lot. Again, this took about an hour of walking, and I walked a lot. And after that, I got dressed up and walked, and there's dirt all over my shoes. And I went to a workplace late. Again, their faces was bad, and I worked there. And at that time, the time that God told me to do this, people were people at work were in much need of my work there. It was sale day, so they really needed to work. They really needed me to work, but I was like 3 hours late. And a couple days later, you give me break. God will give me break. He just won't do that. Won't do things very quickly. He told me to go out at night. And I kind of saw a star, like a moving star, and it was so, the light was so bright that it just took my attention, and the star quickly turned from very flamey to just little and then disappeared. God told me to cross a railroad where trains go 80 miles per second. He told me to cross it. I crossed it and came back, and he showed me the star, and I tried to follow it. And that day was the longest. I think I walked for about 3 hours, but I don't really feel like walking. And for all through these days, when I do this, I forget to mention, but the Holy Spirit was helping me. And by this I mean that you see yourself walking, or you see yourself controlled by a remote, and that's the Holy Spirit. It just make you go through. Okay, am I following God today? Is it really, this thing really happening? And then I walked through some college. It was at night. I got out of work at 10:30, so it was getting dark. It got darker. I went through some places that I don't even know. I walked, and I walked into forests, and God told me to go through thick forests which have no way out. All I just knew was my direction, and then it ended up to a narrow road. And I think God was trying to send me a message that I'm walking on the narrow road. I don't know, but it is scary. It is at night. There is nobody. And then again, God told me to go through another very thick, where there the forest was so dense that I have to push my way through. A lot harder to go there. Again, it was at night. I was using my cell phone to see. The Holy Spirit gave me this old strength. I don't take any credit of all these things for myself, except the Holy Spirit will help you, and it will help you the way you don't know how, but you find yourself going through it. And I don't take any credit of doing by myself like a courageous guy. The Holy Spirit did all these things, so I didn't do anything. I went through the thick bushes, and I went out, and I kind of walked and walked. I think I walked in the biggest park, and I was far away from home. I know I'm far away from home because I'm like 1 hour walk away from the place I should be. So I kind of walked, and I saw people. There's some people drunk, some people party. I was just walking and walking, and I ended up in the park again. And I was going through the narrow road again, and it was scary. I look out on the front, there's nobody. I look out on the back, there's nobody. There might be deer, bear, I don't know. I was just walking and walking, and it got 12, and I came to a stop, and I kind of tried to see a map. There was a map there, and trying to find my way home, and I asked the guy, and he said no, by the walk, and I tried to follow him, and then it was beyond, that was my limit, because I just wanted to go home at that day, because I've been walking for 2 days, been to the forest, and I think I just had enough. But God said no, and I kind of cried a little bit, but I kind of, when I tried to follow, with the place he really, the star he wanted me to follow was far into darkness, and as I was going through that, a security guy came and told me that I was in the wrong spot, and he told me wait, he showed me a way to my home. And at that time I wept a lot because God heard my cry. I kind of thanked him all the way. I kind of wept, asked for forgiveness all the way back. Around of around 30-minute walk, I couldn't find the stop, but I came across this bus stop, and right in front of me there was a cross, and I cried bitterly, and I just wept and asked for forgiveness and thanked him for his mercy a lot. and then I still couldn't find a way home. My phone, I have run out of my money, so I could not make a call. So I just went to McDonald's, just few streets away. Again, I was walking in the highways. There was no pedestrians, and then the guy in McDonald's agreed with me to call the phone, the cab drivers, but he don't have any phone, the phone number of the taxis. So I went out. There was some bar and people were drunk, and some drunk girl came and gave me the phone number. I don't know how people manage to do that while they drunk, and she even memorized it. She didn't even take a look at her phone. She gave me the phone right away and double checked it. And, God bless her, even though she was drunk. And then I got home. It was a long way from home, but I got home. And I thank God I just slept. And then God still asked me to go to that water that I was afraid. I still denied him. I was really afraid. And still, I was still afraid. And then God told me to cross a train, a moving train. To while the train was moving, it's not like a train. It's like a container train where people use for transporting things. It goes about 30 miles per second, or 30 mile. It goes 30 miles per second. I tried to go on that, and while I tried to land while the train was moving, I kind of fell and hurt my knees, and my hand was bleeding. And I kind of felt some peace, and I didn't really like it. I was crying. I said, why would I feel peace when I'm bleeding? And I hated that peace because I just don't want to have peace with blood or with any kind of pain. And I cried, and I kind of felt that I sinned. And before I knew it, I have sinned, and my state was the same as a sinner, not as somebody who did something for God. And